Okay. Am I up and running? Right. Right, good afternoon. As a few of you arrived, I missed the Tottenham equaliser. Again, if you just say hello in the chat, it's just an ad hoc one. I don't know if the settings are right or not. Just say a quick hello. If you can see and hear me okay. Looks like the mic's working, so we can get up and running. It's only going to be a quickie today. Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you. So just a quickie today. See if we can catch up with the thing. Missed the Tottenham equaliser, which was a pity. So we've got our odds-ons at the moment. As ever with Manchester City, you don't know what to expect. Probably not worth trading, or better yet, well worth laying, particularly if they're leading 0-1 late on, given Leicester's come from behind on 2 occasions at home. Southampton have the lead against Crystal Palace. I thought they'd solved their lack of 2-goal scoring issue with a recent brace. So Saints, of course, it's must-win territory for them. Tottenham getting an equaliser against Wolves, which I missed out on. I'll just get myself prepared. Nice cup of tea, and off we go. West Ham and Liverpool to come. That will be on Telegram only, and it's an obvious away win, I would suspect. But with West Ham, you don't know quite what you're going to get with them. Hi, Colin. Hi, Mark. And hi, Robert. Lovely to see you all. So a bit late for that Tottenham equaliser, so sorry about that. Bentancur, obvious side to take on. Or are they? 2 out of 2 wins to 0 under new management. So we might have some surprises. Ange Postecoglou is in a spot of bother at the moment. English Championship, again, the focus is primarily on odds-on favourites in these lower leagues. That's why I've got them all listed here. Just going to get Football 24 up and running, the website, rather than the app. The app's not quite delivering at the moment. It keeps crashing. So I'll get Football 24 up so we can have a stream of scorelines coming in. Good footy today. Serie A, Primeira Liga in Portugal, English Premier League, League Two. You'd love to take something spectacular to get involved in League Two and League One. They're not the best leagues on the planet. English Championship as well. So I'll get Football 24 set up, so I'll get streams coming in. And we get odds on favourites coming in on Score 24. Soccer24.com. Well, we've got a red card in the 66th minute in Italian Serie B. Modena against Sud Tirol. So it's not on our odds on list. We've got Sassuolo, normally very reliable, I've got to say. Probably top of the league in Italian Serie B as well. Look at that. So they tend to score second half. There's the Modena Sud Tirol red card. You can see a reaction from Sud Tirol. 61 attacking pressure index, 2 shots on 12 off and 2 corners. That's going to grab my attention early on. Napoli Venezia. Well, Napoli have been kept very quiet by Venezia, but you would think with an Antonio Conte side that they could eke out the win. And Nottingham Forest have just scored first against Everton. That is compelling stuff, really, because you know what Everton do against the top four. It's 0-0 all the way. So I wouldn't necessarily be taking on this Nottingham Forest lead. It's all down to the in-play stats today, of course. So keep an eye out for the possibility of Sud Tirol equalising. The red card came in the 29th minute. And watch out for Napoli as well. Possibilities for you to practice the lay the draw, but we can't really, because I prefer to get my insurance done at half time and then wait for the draw to get lower. So we've missed the boat there, really, as far as lowering your liability. Over 0.5 goals is becoming backable, isn't it? If it gets to evens, you could lay the draw and cash out if it's one of those days, basically. So it's normally a full liability for me there. Look to potentially get out. Third of liability is lost if it's too many mince pies for the Napoli boys, or if Venezia managed to keep a clean sheet. So here's what I mean. Normally, if I got back in time, I would have laid over 0.5 goals, probably about there, I would say. For £20, to win £20, what that would do, you would start, particularly in a case like this, where the goal hasn't come in a good period of time, you'd have a nice out of sync profit here and look, catching up with the loss here. So by the time this gets to 13, that should be at a reasonable amount as well to knock a bit more off the liability. So Modena and Sud Tirol, we'll keep an eye on them as well. Keep an eye on the attacking pressure index. 13 shots off target, only the 2 shots on for the home side. But Sud Tirol, no second half shots yet from them. Odds on favourites. Well, let's have a quick look down. Normally, I should be hearing sounds from this. I'm not sure why I'm not hearing any sounds. I haven't muted it. We do need to hear sounds for odds on favourites. So let's have a look through. We've got Bristol City scoring first. Their odds on at home. Oxford United ditto. Got a potential here. Swans against Luton. So that will be shortlisted up here. And look at the reaction from the Swans. That looks quite good, doesn't it? I quite like what I'm seeing from Swansea there. Hope you're all okay over on YouTube. Hi, Peter Coles. No problem at all. The lunch was excellent. Scampi and chips, Peter. Scampi and chips. You don't get that in Thailand. Or at least when I did get it in Thailand, it was breaded shrimp. So nice to get a bit of proper scampi down the old gullet. Nice to see you here, Peter. I hope you understand what's going on. We're all trying to generate trading angles here, Peter. That's what it's all about. And profits, of course. So you get trading angles when there's a 0-0 at half-time. Red card, for example, or an underdog scoring first. So you've got all three. We can see a good reaction from the Swans. What I would like to do, really, before I get involved with Swansea, is just to have a look at the seasonal form and the recent form for these two as well, because I don't follow the Championship as much as I'd like. So there's Swansea and Luton. Why are Swansea odds on today? Is it because Luton are struggling after being relegated? Well, you can have a look in the challenge table immediately. This will tell you where these two are. This is, well, we haven't got the league positions. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11th against 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 11th against 18th. Crystal Palace have equalised against Saints. That was another possible play there. What a pity I didn't get on that. Or the Wolves one. So we've already had two, which we've missed out on today. Swansea, only one home defeat outside of the top 6. Scoring a single goal only there. But looking at Luton Town on their travels, they are appalling, aren't they? Where's that second goal? Well, it's come there against Coventry. This was pre-Frank Lampard, I think. Just a 1-0 win against Millwall. Possibilities of taking on this Luton Town side, particularly if the Swans are calling it right. So what I would do here, we get off to the Luton match. Keep an eye on this. If it gets to a third of liabilities lost, it might not be a going day for Napoli, or it might be a good going day defensively wise for Venezia. So I hope you got on the Palace one yourselves. If you did, well done. I'm just getting in and getting up to speed. Swansea and Luton laying over 1.5 goals is an insurance premium. That will cover the 0-1 scoreline. What we're hoping for in this case would be for the odds-on favourite to equalise. I go 2 options here. You've got either the +1, if it's reasonable enough gap, then this is your stake. Well, mine, £40 minus liability. So you've got 2 options. You can either go Swansea +1 for your £40, which should really be £39.20. So we've got the 0-1 covered. As long as it stays 0-1 or it becomes 1-1, we'll start cleaning up. Or if you really fancy the Swans, you could go match odds and you'd split your stake. So you've got a £40 stake, split it into 2. You'd back half stake on Swansea, half stake as liability on Luton. So I'll show you that now. So this is the riskier element because you really do need to get an equaliser early enough. But this is also the most profitable way if the Swans can get back into this, particularly before half-time. This incentivises you to stay in a very small loss on the draw. Now, the only gauge we have really is that reaction from Swansea. 2 shots on, 4 off, 4 corners. Really good stuff, isn't it? That's what I like to see. Good reaction. Let's just hope the momentum continues. We're not caught out by a penalty or anything else. So let's have a look at some more odds-ons. As you can see, coming in, we should have been alerted to this one as well. But I don't know why the sound isn't working on this today. It really should work. And you should be hearing some noise in the background. So 2 possible plays in the Premier League, but I didn't get on in time. What a pity. Gettable in current form, aren't they? But don't forget, Wolves are under new management, so that might surprise. Any other odds-ons who are going astray? Watford and Cardiff. Well, Watford did come from behind in their last match, so let's just shortlist this one as well. Watford and Cardiff. Not quite the reaction you're seeing from the Swans, is it? From Watford. Compare that. No shots on 2 off and 1 corner to 2 shots on, 4 off and 4 corners. A much better reaction from the Swans. So I'll just hold back a bit. We've now got I think a red card for Sud Tirol as well. I don't tend to play these matches when both teams have been red carded. So thankfully I didn't lay the draw there. If that's confirmed as a red card, it's not a match I'd like to get involved in because it's on parity now. Like what I'm seeing from the Swans, can Napoli break through this Venezia side? Let's have a look at Napoli's later goal scoring antics. Do they score late goals? Don't forget, if you're a bit squeamish, you don't want to take a full liability hit, you might have to take a third of liability as loss. Those of you who have Fairbot, you can work out your exit point by using the ladder. Scroll down. When this hits 13, this is your possible cash out opportunity here. 1.5, I would say 1.55. About 1.55. So if the draw odds get to 1.55 without a goal, you can consider cashing out, having to take a loss of a third of liability. It's a lot better psychologically to get 2/3 back in your bank. Or you could leave it go. We can have a look and see at the latest point at which Napoli have been known to score. We've got a suspended market. And there we go. Just as I was about to look. That's perfect, isn't it? I was just about to check the goal times. And we gave ourselves some breathing space, didn't we? Until that hit 13. The reason why we're getting such good return is because we laid the draw later than usual. That's a nice start to the day. That's a nice bit of cash for your mince pie war chest. Fabulous stuff. If you want to look in the future, you go for the away side. When do they concede most? The second half, 61st minute onwards. And for those new, that's Dr. Stephen Hawking. I tend to hire him at the weekend to advise me of the scorelines. 12 goals scored in the last 15 minutes, in the last half an hour for Napoli at home as well. Sorry, home for the home side. 6 goals scored, 76th to 90th minute. When did the goal come? 80th minute. Lovely jubbly Napoli. This is what Antonio Conte sides do. Suspended market again. Is that a Swansea equaliser? Yes, it is. We're having a cracking afternoon, Gromit. And Watford have equalised as well. But I wasn't as taken with Watford as I was with the Swans. But those of you who know the Championship better than me, you can use your knowledge. And I suppose looking at the league positions there, 6th against 23rd, we should have really taken on Cardiff Leeds, shouldn't we? But that's gone now. I think it's a 1-1. So delighted. Now, I would recommend you cash out because if I can shut Dr. Stephen Hawking up for a second. Have you quite finished? Thank you. What I would advise here is to cash out of this because Venezia got a very late penalty equaliser against Juventus recently to make that 2-1 to 2-2. So please get out of that. That's a nice start to the day. We're heading off to the Swans now. And this, I will show you the advantage of going match odds, the early goal. Swansea +1. Don't forget your insurance. You've lost £8, so your net profit will be 21 minus 8. Still reasonable enough, but just wait for that to tidy itself up a little bit. It's not quite tight enough, is it? 21 quid. If you're new to trading, I'd say, as my mother used to tell me, hoover up your greens. Match odds, you should be seeing a more significant profit here. Now, I've deliberately done this to get you incentivized to stay in and aim for that 84 quid. Weigh up the amount of time left in this match. It's the 38th minute only. What you could do, if you remember St Mirren and Rangers, a late St Mirren winner. We don't want that for Luton Town. You can see how much it costs to negate your liability here. And you see the advantage of using this specialist software, don't you? How about that? That's only taking a tenner or so, or 15 quid off the Swansea 67 and leaving you an effective break even. If you wanted a real break even, you'd get that 8 quid back that you've lost as your insurance premium. But then look at that, you're losing a lot more. So let's get that back up. And that looks quite, you can leave this now. Or don't forget what I call options at exit. You've got many, many options at exit. Weigh up the amount of time left, stay in for the win. Or if you need the money, take the 30 quid and run to the hills. Okay? That's still going to be there for you if you change your mind about this. So don't just blindly follow me. What kind of risk aversion do you have? Do you want to negate the liability on Luton? Do you want to aim for that 84 quid profit? Do you want to make sure you've got your 39 quid back in your bank? Or do you want to take that 30? It's a pretty good start to the day, isn't it? Fulham have scored first against Bournemouth. Not really a trading angle. That sound you're hearing is now the sound we should be hearing when odds-on favourite matches occur. So, Cardiff making it 1-2. So that's a good reminder to you if you did get an equaliser for Watford. Those of you who cash out, you will be saved the heartache of the underdog scoring another goal. English League One, Birmingham. That's one to check at half time. See if there's a second half goal angle. Any other odds-ons? 1.36. Huddersfield are a goal down to Burton Albion. So let's look at the in-play stats for that. Firstly, Huddersfield and Burton Albion. I don't see any strong reaction from Huddersfield. But again, like the Watford match, you've got a side in the top four against a relegation-threatened side. So I would keep an eye on the Huddersfield-Burton match. Look at the Burton goal as well. Was it from open play? No, it wasn't. It was looked like it was. Yes, it was from open play. Sorry, not an own goal or a penalty or anything like that. Crawley doing a good job against Exeter. But English League One. The lower down the tiers you go, the trickier it becomes to trust these teams. So the Shrews against Northampton. Gonna have to look out for that. Northampton, pretty good form against Peterborough recently. Plenty of goals. So possibilities there. But Huddersfield, why on earth are they 1.36? Something to investigate when we have a half-time break. Wrexham, no goal yet at 1.85. Napoli, lovely jubbly. Who's on your Christmas card list? It's Raspadori. And Antonio Conte would not have been a happy bunny had this ended 0-0 with Romelu Lukaku missing. Great season under Conte. Tighten the ship. There's a Sassuolo equaliser. I'm sorry I didn't get to that in time as well. We're missing all sorts of good profits today. Ultra reliable, top of the league. I hope you spotted that earlier on. I did mention they were top of the league, but a bit flustered having come in very quickly. Not quite to speed. We should have got involved with this one. Certainly one for a very, very late lay of Cosenza. Those of you who know how to use soccer stats, I think you'd have been alerted to some very late goal scoring from Sassuolo. Top of the league, so they must be on your radar. Obviously the best form side in Italian Serie A. And very effective late goal scorers as well. I think we've been involved in a few Sassuolo wins of late. Look at that pattern for late winners in the second half for Sassuolo. Tend to be important goals that they score second half as well. Goal times, probably going to see solidity at the end there. Look at that, 15 goals scored in the last 15 minutes. 30 minutes. Also, Cosenza conceding the vast majority of their second half goals in the last 15 minutes. So we should have been alerted to that. My apologies if you didn't get on. I did mention to you that they were first in the league. We should have piled into that one. Elsewhere, Celtic 107, expecting a goal before half-time for them. Don't really football. Look at this. 2-0 lead for Motherwell against Rangers. Rangers losing to St Mirren. Stamatopoulos, that's a very famous Scottish name, of course. Stamatopoulos, who'll be celebrating Burns Night very soon. From the Scottish Highland tribe of the Stamatopoulos tribe. We know it very well. This is a possible trade second half, but Rangers were appalling against St Mirren. They did get the equaliser, but they got done by a late goal. Boyce Muntz, 93rd minute. Possibilities. Let's just have a look at the odds and indeed the in-play stats. We want to see that this Rangers side has turned up. Hi, Michael. Nice to see you. So nice to see you all here on a Sunday. This is got a really Saturday feel about it, this coupon. It's just everything going on. Let's head on down to the SPL. What on earth is going on with Rangers? Too much mince pies, I think, for Rangers. You can't really cover 2-0 as insurance unless you do both teams to score no, which is an excellent idea of John H's, but that's more powerful. Well, it could still be used here. That covers the 2-0, covers the 3-0, covers the 4-0, but it doesn't cover the 2-1. You'll have to cover that yourself at 4.7. So my usual stake, cover it with the stake you'd want to use. And there we go, Sassuolo winning 2-1. Those of you who went match odds with Sassuolo, wow. They are a side to follow this season, particularly late on. I'm really sorry I didn't get onto that quickly enough for you, but you have been warned. Stick them in your little black book. Sassuolo, trader's dream. Relegated to Serie B and dominating it. That's what you want to see. So got a £10 liability there. If you want to cover the 2-1, you've got an £11 liability there. So that's a total of 21 liability there. If you want to cover the 2-0 or the 3-0, but we don't have the 3-1 covered. We can't hedge everything, can we? If you cover them, that's about a £21 liability, but that gives you carte blanche now to have a real good go if Rangers can come from behind. Look at the reward, £105 there and 33 added to that there. Okay. Your other option is just to get involved in this market here. If you don't want all the shenanigans and the increased possible loss, don't forget, if Motherwell go to town, make it 3-1, we are going to lose everything. Looking at in-play stats, just a one shot on, 6 off, 2 corners, 34 dangerous attacks. Did we check the goals scored? I think they were both from open play, weren't they, with that famous Scottish man, Stamatopoulos and Mazwani. So from open play, I don't know what's going on with Rangers at all. Dessis is playing. He was a substitute last match. He's an important cog. Maybe that's a significant injury. No, Kassam Wirjo. There's Chris McCausland. That's probably why they're losing. They've got a blind Strictly Come Dancing winner in the team. So that's probably why they're going through a bit of a patchy time. I don't know the strength of these substitutions or if there's one that really changes games. If you're a Rangers fan, you might know who needs changing and what and why they're not quite at the heights that they're usually at. Head-to-heads, are Motherwell a bogey side for Rangers? Well, they have been tight wins, haven't they? That was a significant win, that 2-1 Motherwell. That was in March this year. But Rangers fought back to a couple of 2-1 wins. So we do tend to see both teams to score, But the thing is, are we going to see 2-0 to 2-1, or are we going to see 3-0 to 3-1? That's the problem. So we've got some really good early trades. Had I got in just a little bit earlier, I would have been more on the ball with the Spuds, with Crystal Palace, and with our pals, Sassuolo. So it was a good scampi, though, I must say. So Rangers second half, I can talk you through this. Both teams to score, no. It's probably going to be too illiquid, as you can just see. It's just wiped it out. Look, nothing left. So bang goes any liquidity in this market for both teams to score, no. It's just disappeared. So your only alternative now is to perhaps Dutch. Be looking at 2-1, 2-0 as a break even. These would be the troubling scorelines. Required profit would be the stake that you want to use. And you can see it's a very big liability. The advantage of both teams to score no, that covers 3-0, covers 4-0, any other home win. So it's very versatile, but you've just seen its Achilles heel. Total and utter lack of market forces, apart from a bit of money in here now, which you might have to hoover up if you want to play this route. So it's to win 40 quid. This is John H's excellent idea, but we do need Rangers to step up second half and not concede the next goal. That will now cover the 2-0, cover the 3-0. Ideally, you want to do it after the first goal because the odds will be a lot higher. Correct score. Want to focus just on the 2-1 to Motherwell. Get that covered. And then you can have a real good go at Rangers. But the problem with this is if this match ends in a draw, you're going to be losing all of this insurance money. So it's up to you. Do you want to take the risk in the hope of what will be a very, very juicy reward? We don't have to get involved yet because it's half time. Maybe these odds will just move up, but don't forget to get involved if you want to get involved at the beginning of the second half. I'm not going to get involved now, just going to wait on that. Well done to Napoli. Wouldn't expect less of an Antonio Conte side. I was very, very tempted with the delay of Modena or the delay of the draw, but once you get a red card for each team, then it's a bye-bye. Well done to the Swans. Those of you who are staying in for the win, good luck. Those of you who cashed out, there's no right or wrong answer. It's up to whether you want to build up your betting bank or if you want to risk a greater profit for a marginal loss of about 8 quid to win 64. Suspended market, not sure who that will be. Watford and Cardiff, we can keep an eye on that, but as I say, I was not hugely taken by Watford's in-play stats compared to the Swans. We're getting to half-time now. So let's have a quick look through our odds-on favourites. Blackburn and Hull. So we're just going to put these into the watch list on the in-play guru. Blackburn and Hull. We can investigate, use half-time to investigate whether we expect second half goals. So let's do that now. Your old pal and mine, soccerstats.com, has all of the answers for you. English Championship, Blackburn and Hull. Any reason why it's 0-0 at half-time? Is it a steady pattern for these two? Can we take that draw on second half? Go all the way down here and start at the bottom. 3 0-0s at half-time at home, only the one at full-time. That's a 67% strike rate. 5 0-0s at half-time away. So this is not anything new for Hull City, but none at full-time. That gives you an idea that we could expect second half goals. Goal times table, home for the home team, away for the away team. 61% of goals conceded, 70% of goals scored by Hull City have come second half. No wonder they've had 5-0 at half time away. 9 and 8, 17, 50-50. 78% of goals conceded by Blackburn at home have come second half. But I like the 50-50 goal scoring. I do like the fact that it's biased second half towards Old Rod. Now, if you fancied this one, let's try my new limit your liability idea, which would be looking to win 20 quid by laying over 0.5 goals. Why 20 quid? Well, it's just something I've plucked out of the air. It's half of 40. That liability, though, is a little bit too high to what I would normally try out for in this case. The draw odds, well, that's the reason you're getting good draw odds already. This is at half time, 2.62. You saw with Napoli, we had to wait till midway through the second half to get odds like this. You could lay this now, but if you're willing to lose £6.40, you could wait for these odds to get even lower. That way you're going to buy yourself more time for there to be a goal scored. Okay? We don't have to get involved now. Of course, it's half time. But do the prep work. That would be this. What we're trying to do is if we're going to utilise our get out at a third of liability, we want to reduce that liability even further. So I'm going to delay and try to get lower odds. We might get caught out with a 46-minute goal, but that's the risk you take if you're willing to lose that amount to try to win the kind of amount you won in the Napoli match. Good second half stats. Have a look at recent performances as well. There might be something up. Well, let's have a look. Clean sheets is a problem because when you're doing looking for a goal second half, you really want both teams to score. You want both teams to help you out. But it looks like we might be over-reliant on Blackburn Rovers here if these 5 games are anything to go by. That's the negative here. Last 0-0. Well, saw a late Millwall goal, which we got involved in, you'll remember. That was a very nice reward. We looked at Millwall's in-play stats. We saw they tend to score 90th minute goals. Hull, well, you're going to have to rely on Hull to do something, hopefully concede. But there's a few 1-0s lurking about, which I'm not too enamoured with. But they have conceded in the last 20 games, so that's a positive for us. Challenge table-wise, it's 5th against 22nd. Question mark, 5th haven't played the bottom 4 yet. We don't know how they're going to get on. But the fact that they're scoring 2+ goals against 12th and lower consistently enough suggests we might get a tune out of Blackburn today. Hull City against the top 5. Again, we've got 2 goals conceded, 2 or 3 or 4. So I remain positive here. We've always got our out, of course. Third of liability as loss. So that's one to look at there. 0-0. Odds on favourite. Looks like second half. Coventry, well, I can't trust Fat Frank as far as I can throw him. I don't know why Coventry fans are going so mental over their recent results. They've actually played 3 of the bottom 3 in consecutive matches. 2 wins and a loss to Portsmouth. Millwall are a different kettle of fish altogether. There's the fact that we've got a new manager in Frank Lampard, who I don't rate at all as a manager. I wouldn't be keen on taking that on. Millwall, you'll probably see, very defensively led. At least that's my recollection of them. New manager syndrome for Coventry. Not playing a bottom 4 side today, Frank. So you're not going to have an easy run to make it look like you're a good manager. Bottom 4, bottom 4, bottom 4. Well, let's go even further. Bottom 3. When these matches were being played. Millwall, tight as a Scotsman. Look at that. All the way from the 14th of September, only 2 over 2.5 goal matches. 1-0, 1-0, 0-1, 0-1, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. So I think if Coventry score first, this Millwall side look a little bit more accomplished, and I think Fat Frank might be caught out today. Certainly not odds-on favourites, that's for sure. That's laughable. Doing all their good work against the bottom sides, as you can see here. Stark contrast against sides above them. Millwall, well, it's a 1-0 win for Coventry last time these two met. And Coventry away, a whole raft of 1-1s against teams below them in the league. Trouble scoring that second goal against strugglers. They haven't yet to do so against 15th and lower. So it's a difficult one, but you've got a very, very defensive Millwall for Frank Lampard to try and get through. 1.85 is just laughable. Laughable. I'm not getting involved myself. 1.57 leads to come, far more reliable than a Frank Lampard side. Manchester City could be layable now at 0-2, but Leicester City, I don't think they've chosen well in Ruud van Nistelrooy. They started off very brightly at home, but they have a good record of coming from behind. Remember, it was all doom against Bournemouth, and that ended up an equaliser late on. So Manchester City in their current form are very, very layable. It's going to cost you absolutely nothing to find out. But let's keep on with any more odds-on favourites, see if we've got any angles. Well, Maritimo Oliveirense. Maritimo, I think, newly relegated. 1.42, a very strong home favourite. So we can have a look. Casemiro. It's not the Casemiro, is it? They take him out of the retirement home every Saturday to play for Manchester United. What a ridiculous signing. Just mind-boggling. Bringing Casemiro and Eriksen in. What? Are they going to sign Luka Modric next? Or Bobby Charlton's daughter or something? Let's have a look at Maritimo Oliveirense, at least via the in-play stats. Such a strong home favourite. Is there a reason why they're such a strong home favourite? Victoria Guimaraes' goal has been disallowed. Watch out for them. They're a very solid goal-scoring unit in the Portuguese Primeira Liga, so they'll get on my radar. Why are Maritimo such strong favourite today against Oliveirense? That's one for us to check out. Scottish Premiership, no real surprises apart from Motherwell and Rangers, which I've shown you. Yeah, looks like that Guimaraes goal has been allowed. So Motherwell Rangers, of course, I've shown you that one. It's a tough side to trust. That St Mirren loss was galling, really. Bradford and Chesterfield, Fleetwood, very strong favourite. And against Harrogate, that draw might be vulnerable. Second half, if the odds are correct. Fleetwood against Harrogate. Walsall and Newport got an odds-on favourite there as well at 0-0 at half-time. One to investigate. But I don't tend to panic too much in these lower tiers. I'm quite happy to see a goal come in or otherwise. Salford, good start in the first half. 8 shots in total. No corners, though. So Morecambe doing a good job there. Looks a very competitive match. Fulham and Bournemouth. It was one of those tough Premier League matches. 2.25 the favourite. But a very strong attacking display from Bournemouth. We might see an equaliser there. We missed our trick with Palace and Tottenham. Everton could keep Nottingham Forest very quiet. They were very impressive in that 0-0 against Chelsea and could have nicked it. We'll keep an eye on that one. Don't expect Everton to be conceding too many at this particular juncture. Very solid defensively. So we've got a few matches to keep our attention on. Top of the league, Birmingham as well against Blackpool. That's a 0-0 at half-time. Is that worth taking on as well? Just a red card for Lincoln City, but they're already a goal down to Bolton, so that's not really going to affect us. Swans, I don't really need to monitor it. I'll get alerted if there's a goal coming, but it's one of those matches you've already negated your liability. You can just leave it. Sit back, pipe and slippers, and just hope that they get that goal. So let's go to our watch list. Blackburn and Hull, we've got an indicator that we could expect a second half goal. I'm quite happy to try and wait to try to get lower odds about the draw. and it would be to a full liability here. As you can see, as with the Napoli match, you're getting rewarded a lot better the later on you wait. So we'll see how far we can get into this before or if a goal is scored. Watford and Cardiff, I'm not taken by the Watford in-play stats, but obviously they did get the equaliser. Motherwell and Rangers were already involved in. We just hope that Rangers turn up today. But Motherwell have beaten them this season already. So just be a little wary. And Motherwell and St Mirren's win last match was very much against what the market expected. So just be a little careful with that. Bournemouth, well, it's all on paper whether you fancy this one. They weren't fancied by the market makers today, but in-play stats-wise, if they can turn up second half, anything like this, we might have a run for our money. And we've got a goal for Morecambe against Salford. I didn't quite get to that in time. And it's gone to Morecambe against 1.65 Salford. So let me just investigate that in English League 2. Why are Salford Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2? Why are Salford such strong favourite? Let's have a look. Just have to keep putting the heater on and off now and again. It's a bit Brad's monkeys. Salford and Morecambe. So I hope you're all okay over on YouTube. And I'm not talking to myself. That's good. Salford and Morecambe. Let's go back. Soccer stats. So take off your ad blocker. It's been disallowed, I believe, the Morecambe goal. But is that going to be the impetus? Right. Maybe Football 24 has got the scoreline wrong. Certainly, if Morecambe scored first, I would have been very much involved in looking for an angle here. Challenge table shows you Salford are up there. Morecambe are bottom of the league. And they have not even scored an away goal against Cheltenham and higher. Yeah, looks like Salford have scored, so that negates any interest there. But when you do have a 0-0 at half-time, do make sure you check out the goal times. Here, this particular page of soccer stats, you've got the home for the home side, away for the away. Check out the percentages for the second half. 67% scored, not very appealing, particularly when Morecambe have failed to score against all of those top sides. Certainly, if Morecambe scored, we'd have been keen to take them on. Where's that second goal going to come from if you can't even score a first? I've just got to reply to this text message. I don't think this person knows I'm doing a live stream at the moment, so I'll just tell her. Because it's, well, she's up quite late, 11 p.m. So she doesn't realise it's mid-afternoon. All right, excuse me for a sec. There we go. International relations, there we go. I've told her I'm just doing a live stream at the moment, and we've got scores coming in on Football 24, so I'm going to get back to that. That's a Cheltenham 2-2 against Notts County. Pity about the Salford match, that. I was really going to relish a Morecambe opening goal there. Coventry has scored first against Millwall. I'm still not taken by Frank Lampard, but the market was. Okay, I'll just reply. Cheers for now. There we go. Okay. So I wonder if Coventry will be vulnerable. We'll have to look at the... No, it looks like that goal may have been disallowed for Coventry and indeed for Celtic. It looks like Football 24 are getting a few of these scorelines wrong. They got the Morecambe goal wrong as well. As you can see, we're still delaying Blackburn against Hull. So let's just show you what that means here. We've just eked out a quid profit here. It's not massive. And 2 goals for Crystal Palace. What a pity we couldn't get involved I didn't get home in time for that one. Take on that Southampton lead. Match odds market, you've been amply rewarded there. The draw odds are getting lower, as you can see. How long do you want to delay? You get a bigger return as well. We're just building up the profitable element here, but it looks like it's not going up very quickly, is it? So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm quite happy to take a loss in the hope that I can delay a lot further and get even more, even lower odds on that draw. Watford and Cardiff, I'm not too enamoured with this one, but 45 dangerous attacks to 19. For those of you who know the league and the teams, well, you can get involved if you want. Rangers, well, they've gone from 6 shots off target, 7 shots off target, down to 6. That's how poor their season is. The stats feed is taking shots off them. We've got a possible play here now, knowing, as I do, that Guimarães are an excellent goal-scoring side. They're odds on as well. They've just conceded, and they're on a run of score draws as well. They are a very reliable side, Guimarães. They've just caught my eye this season. Do our due diligence, of course, because it's not your big boys in the Portuguese Primeira Liga, by which I mean... And there's a Bournemouth equaliser. Well, it was coming, wasn't it? Stats-wise, it was coming, but I didn't take action on that. And Damien turned up here. There's a bit of an omen, 666 and 67. So I have to facilitate this, I'm afraid. I wish I could have just latched onto that and had a go. Bournemouth in quite brilliant form at the moment. We're going to go back for Rangers. Excellent stuff. That's what we're after. So let's have a break from Blackburn and Hull. This could have been a really good profitable day today, couldn't it? Had I had an extra pair of arms. Go back for Rangers. Now, those of you who went match odds, you will start salivating. Didn't I place all of this? Oh, I didn't place the bet. Oh, man. I thought I did. Back Rangers at 6. Oh, that is a disappointment. Because that odds of 6, you've seen that go down to 2.74. Unless this is a VAR goal, then I have a second bite at the cherry. I'm getting a bit distracted. Sorry, I come in late from a meal. Just not quite with it. Should have gone match odds, of course. Back Rangers, half stake. Lay Motherwell, half stake as liability. I think I might have talked you through that, but press the confirm box. Well, let's just see. The goal might be disallowed. So, no, it's been allowed. So, I can't show you the profit, but this is the profit here. There down to there. Odds on. Risen markedly. So, I really hope you got on. I could have sworn I placed this. Got all of this done. So, we've got the 2-1 covered. This, of course, is redundant. But where would I have got involved? Surely not the half-time market by accident. We saw this, didn't we? Backing Rangers at 6s. Laying Motherwell at odds on. Get a really big reward on Rangers. So maybe I talked you through this using the confirm. So that would have been... I hope you followed this one yourselves. Because I can't understand why I didn't place this. Remember I showed you this, 6s, about 100 quid here. Now, it was about 1 point, what was it for Motherwell? About 1.8, I would say. That would have added another 30 quid if memory serves. So this should be a profit. So this was about 1.8. Should have added about 33 quid. So I'm just not quite with it. 1.8. Yeah, I'm sure I placed it. I don't know what went wrong there. I hope you got on yourselves. Please let me know if you did. It'd be interesting to watch this video again and see why I didn't place my Rangers place. The whole point of doing the insurance was to cover the 2-0, cover the 2-1. Now we've got a comeback from Rangers. I can get involved again, or if you didn't get on earlier on, be laying over 3.5 goals in the hope that Rangers turn up today. This is again taking out insurance. So I'm mystified. I should have. I thought I did back Rangers and lay Motherwell 2-0 up. So this covers the 2-1 scoreline, laying over 3.5 goals. You want to cover the 2-1, which is under 3.5 goals. Now you've got £39.20 to work with. You could go match odds if you want, but of course we've been robbed. We should have got the sixes against about Rangers. Now they're in such poor form, this might not work out. +1, well, the market's really fancying Rangers today. You can't get onto the +1, 1.45 odds. That, for those with a glass half full, the market really fancies Rangers, but watch out for this flip-flopping because I've got this set at back odds. But it got on Rangers. We're not going to get anywhere near the 3-figure return that we should have got, backing Rangers at 6s, laying Motherwell at 1.8. And still, it's absolute mystery how I'm sure I placed these plays. So that's half your potential profit. It's relatively high insurance. Well, no, it's not. £8.80. We just need Rangers to score the next goal to make this 2-2. And again, we've got that marginal loss on the draw to try and persuade you to aim for the Rangers profit. So let's have a look. Blackburn and Hull is still 0-0. So we've survived so far, getting better odds about the draw. Every moment you wait, you're going to make a bigger return. My K doesn't work, by the way. I don't know what's gone wrong with that. So we've been waiting. We've got £3 out of this now. So if you get involved now at near evens, you're going to be making a very good return if we get that goal that we're seeking. And if we get out a third of liabilities lost, we've already got £3 of that back using this. So how long can we wait now? How much lower can we get the draw odds? So that's one. Are you going to get involved yet? Just the one shot on target, 11 off and 7 corners. Motherwell, as you can see, what a pity, eh? What a pity. 6s and 1.8. That's what I thought I'd got on. Fulham and Bournemouth. Any late goal action. Should have got the equaliser really as well. Missed some really good plays in the Premier League today, haven't I? So maybe have lunch an hour earlier next time. Got to take my mate out. He's a world judo champion. Mitch Agnelli, for those of you who follow judo. He's a tough nut. Boy, you don't argue with him. I play golf with him, and of course, he wins. Even when he doesn't win, he wins. Huddersfield and Burton. Let's have a look at the in-play stats here. Any reaction from Huddersfield? Nothing yet, really. It's look a little bloated, don't they? No real second half stats showing yet for Huddersfield. So nothing to imply why they're 1.36 favourites. Maybe it's because Burton are bottom of the league and they could capitulate at any time. Motherwell make it 3-1. That was what we were fearing. Now, it's a gentle reminder, had you got on with the 6s and the 1.8, you could have made a decent profit, but maybe that goal's been disallowed. Football 24 is putting up some wrong score lines and then correcting them very quickly. So let's hope. I didn't hear a suspend, so I just hope. Just got a trigger happy follower in that match. Birmingham and Blackpool, top of the league. Birmingham not really looking like top of the league. Birmingham yet. One shot on, one shot off, two corners. I'm not going to be laying these draws willy-nilly just yet. Just got involved with the Blackburn Hull because it's such a strong second half record for Hull, isn't it? Scoring wise. Guimarães. Well, I just like Guimarães. I can have a look at Portugal, see if Forenza have put together any good results. 0-2 to Nottingham Forest. That is a real laying down a marker there, because this Everton side are incredibly tough for the top four to score against. Brilliant performance from Nottingham Forest. Nuno Espirito Santo. Why couldn't he do this at Wolves? Guimarães, 2 consecutive 2-2 draws. Forense winning very sporadically. 2 of their wins, 1-0 only. It does suggest that we take on Forense today. Guimarães conceded in the last 5 away. No win in 5 away either. So that's slightly troubling. But their defeats have only been 1-0. 3 out of 4. And again, insurance will aid you in this particular match. Now, with the fact that Motherwell's may have scored a third and hint like they could score a third, you could always cash out when you've done an insurance play. I could show you that if you don't fancy Rangers today at all. Well, Forense, look at them against the top 10. Not scored that second goal. Indeed, they haven't scored that second goal at home this season. Guimarães, top 6, and they tend to score readily. Look at that. So I'm going to have a go here. It's just because I like Guimarães. We've got odds on now about the draw. Are you taken? Because you're getting more than you risk. And we can still get out with a third of liability as loss. And we'll have made ourselves an extra £5 to take off that liability. So you're looking at an £8 hit while giving Blackburn and Hull enough time to hopefully dig out a goal. So this is working rather nicely. Cheltenham and Notts County is 3-3. That could be one for you to look at laying the draw. Obviously, these two are going for it. Hammer and tongs, 60th minute. Excellent stuff. So let's have a work through. Just watch out. We just had that goal sort of disallowed for Motherwell. Rangers, don't forget that late consolation against St Mirren. They're not that hot at the moment. Huddersfield, are they showing up? There's still no shots on target or off target second half. This is all first half work for Hull, for Huddersfield. It's just not good enough. Ditto for Birmingham. They're not showing up second half against Blackpool. Walsall, top of the league as well. 2 shots on 5 off from 4 corners. Could be one to check out for the 0-0s. Again, we can just head off to that match, have a quick look. Top of the league, that's the only reason I would that would catch my attention. But let me just play Guimarães first. This is my personal choice. So they've done me all right over this season. It might go wrong today, but you've seen Forense. Where's that second goal for Forense at home? I haven't seen it. Laying over 1.5 goals. That covers the Forense 1-0. Where's that second goal? We haven't seen it yet this season. Hopefully, we won't see it today. And breaking news, Manchester City have won a match. There will be a national holiday today following this win for Manchester City. Remarkable. And there's that Cheltenham Notts County draw ending already. You'd have had to be Speedy Gonzalez to lay that draw there. Look out for those kind of matches, 3-4. That's a suspended market, so let's just hope it's not a 3-1 to Motherwell. It's a red card for Luton Town, which means those of you who went match odds, you'll be licking your lips. Because we've got 20 minutes to go now for the Swans to score. Guimarães +1, is it going to be significantly higher than this? +1 covers the draw. So you could always stop here if you fancy an equaliser, but you don't fancy Guimaraes pulling out the win. Don't forget, there's that 3-1 for Motherwell. So that was the worry, wasn't it? I should have really got out when it turned up earlier on and was then taken off. Rangers going through an awful time at the moment. And the problem is, if we'd have got on Rangers at 6, laid Motherwell at 1.8, we could have cashed out at the 2-1. That's what's galling about this. Oh. The Guimaraes +1, or you could go, if you fancy the match odds win, again, split your stake in half. Huddersfield have equalised against Burton Albion. I wasn't seeing it be the in-play stats, but they are bottom of the league for a reason. 4.9 for Guimaraes and lay Forenza. So you've got either or. That goal may have been disallowed for Huddersfield. It does suggest that we might pop on now. They look to have woken up second half. Just going to wait for that goal to be confirmed. It's been disallowed again at Football 24. So Football 24 is wrong today. So you've got two options. Guimaraes +1 covers the draw. Match odds gives you a bigger profit. Okay, so those are your options. You've always, if you take a hit on the draw in the hope of getting 94 quid on Guimaraes. Blackburn and Hull, 12 shots off target, only 4 of them second half. 2 corners, only just the 1 shot on target. So laying that draw, not yet, but we've got the 0-0 covered. So we could make a good return there. Get rid of this Everton Nottingham Forest. Don't need to look into that. Huddersfield, did that goal stick? I'm not sure if it did or not. The Motherwell goal has been disallowed again, I think. 2 consecutive 3-1s disallowed. It could tell us to get the bleep out of Dodge. You'd take a £4 loss. I don't think it is 3-1. No, definitely not 3-1. But the fact that it's occurred twice, I think I'm going to do a Gareth Bale. So you take your green screen for your insurance. Make sure it gets taken. And then, no, not getting taken. Okay. There we go. Then you'd get out of the match odds. You make about a £5 loss, far better than making a £38 loss. It's just I'm a bit worried. I've seen 2 consecutive 3-1 scorelines for Motherwell. I know that Rangers lost by a last-minute goal to St Mirren last match. I'm out. Sorry, I'm not playing. It's a £4.66 profit, £9.50 loss. It's about a £5. Better than 38 quid, isn't it? Not having it. Sorry. I've just seen 2 lots of 3-1s pop up. Not doing it for me. But the in-play stats are looking very even Steven. So I don't know if it's Football 24 scaring me or if it's just Motherwell got the ball in the back of the net twice. Well, at least one of them has been disallowed. And my old pal Stamatopoulos has been substituted. I'm getting out. That's the advantage of doing this insurance. You can do what I call a Gareth Bale and get the bleep out. Huddersfield have woken up second half against Burton Albion. Let's see how we can possibly play this one. Huddersfield, again, I'm spelling awfully. That's quite a high insurance premium, but we're going to get, well, that's not a high reward, is it? So do you want to take insurance out or not? I always personally like to do it, and you could it's going to cost you 20 odd quid, about 23 quid, which is very high, particularly if Burton score the next goal. But they look good, don't they, Huddersfield? They have woken up, but you'll... Oh, trust them, eh? Just made it 2-2 as I cash out. Ah, +1. There we go. That's the... You'll be cleaning up had you got on Rangers at 6s earlier on. But I was seeing those 3-1s turning up for Motherwell, and I remembered that St Mirren loss. Ah, scared away by 2 consecutive 3-1s disallowed. But never mind. Match odds. It's a bit late to be doing match odds, but we're not getting much value out of the +1 for Huddersfield. So if they can pull this off, and they've just had a goal disallowed, and they've woken up stats-wise, back Huddersfield half stake. Lay Burton Albion half stake as liability. And look at the kind of return you could get if Huddersfield pull this off. Hopefully, we'll have that marginal loss on the draw, but you will take quite a big hit, £21 liability, if this ends 1-1. If you're willing to do that in the hope of winning 117 quid, if Huddersfield can equalise. They've just had a goal scrubbed off. And this is, if you're new to trading, this is the hundreds on the attacking pressure index. Normally indicates a goal is imminent. So we'll look on that with interest. I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to be crying in my tea. I thought the in-play stats were good for Rangers. So I was a bit surprised to see 2 consecutive 3-1s being scrubbed off. But it was just this loss to St Mirren in the back of my mind. And the fact they only scored 1 goal against Dundee. But those of you who stayed in, you will be amply rewarded there. I was a bit too risk averse there myself. Blackburn, 74th minute, still a goal is absent. So you're going to be getting far better odds. Let's have a look. I'm just going to save these. Go to the Blackburn match. And unexpectedly, Fulham have taken a 2-1 lead against the Bournemouth side, who've beaten some big boys, albeit at home. So, what have we got here? We've got an £8.86 profit. You could take that if you wanted. Now, we're in a really good position now, particularly if we go for a third of liability as loss. You could lay the draw now and look at the return you're going to be making if we see that goal before that loss hits 13. 65 quid. Wow. So use the ladder facility here. We have until the odds, the market hits about 1.32 for there to be a goal. So if we can get to 1.33 or higher with one of these two scoring a goal, we're going to clean up. We're going to lose this, but we're going to win this. More importantly, you've got yourself an out. Third of liability will be 13, but look how much you're already going to be making here if you get out. Because you're going to... Oh, we've got the goal. Have we got the goal? Have we got the goal? Is it Rod Hull? Is it Blackburn Rovers? It's Rod. I would recommend the possibility of getting out here because the fact we're making a decent profit is because the goal has been scored in the 71st minute, but it's been scored by the underdog. That's the problem. Look at all these shots off target and corners for Blackburn. But this is a great advert for you for neutral, playing neutral. Playing neutral means you've got both teams working for you. I would advise you to get out of this. Don't be tempted in with this 65. That's only potential profit. That's potential loss still. You've lost your £6.40 here. And you've made 41 quid here. Fabulous. That worked out perfectly. That's my way of attacking nil-nils. Just hope, there we go. That's lovely. So hope you see the thought process there. We got involved late enough that we're going to make a really decent profit if we get a goal scored. But if we don't get a goal scored, we're only going to make about a £3 or £4 loss. So it's a really, really good opportunity. So that's my new take on the second half draw. It's a completely new idea. Thanks as well to John H for some of his emails, which I'm going to be digesting again because he's come up with some good theories, and he's the one who came up with both teams to score no, which was an excellent idea in itself. So I hope you got on there. Hull City, says Michael. Indeed. Back Rangers at 6.8. Alan, thank you very much. I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you didn't cash out. Well, I hope you didn't have the heebie-jeebies like me, Alan. Just wasn't seeing it from a side who've been pretty poor in the last 2 matches, scoring only the single goal. Guimaraes, well, we're going to hope that they turn up second half. We're going to hope that Firenze continue not to score that second goal. That's our hope there. Look at Coventry. As soon as you're not playing the bottom three, you get exposed. I don't know why on Facebook I'm getting a whole load of Sky Blues commentary and the fans going absolutely mental over the recent 2 wins. But if you look at the challenge table, you'll see, and I showed you this earlier on, you'll see it there. Coventry's good performances have all come against bottom sides. Millwall are a total different kettle of fish. They're a very defensively sound side. They've got a bit of streetwise about them. They're a tough nut to crack. This is why I don't rate Frank Lampard as a manager at all, really. He's winging it against this lot. That was under Lampard. I think this was under, who else? The bottom three? Can't remember, but well, it's up here. So really unappealing, let's be honest. Plymouth, Wayne Rooney, Football Geniuses side, and Hull City. I think these sides were actually bottom when he was playing them. So exposed today, laughable pre-match odds, absolutely laughable for an unproven manager. Brilliant footballer, not that appealing as a manager. He's a name. He's not really a tactician, is he? Might as well stick Christine Lampard up front. You might get something out of her. Maritimo, you can see they're waking up. Coming to the second half, I believe, against Oliveirense. We asked ourselves, why are they odds on pre-match? Let's have a quick look. Primeira Segunda in Portugal. P2. Why are Maritimo such strong favourites today? Don't forget, if you use Soccer Stats, you should be taking your ad blocker off. Otherwise, they'll be charging you 60 odd quid. And you can see how important this is to the football trader. It's just a wonderful, wonderful website. So, challenge table is the first port of call, really, to get an idea of the strengths and weaknesses of these two. Well, it's mid-table against bottom of the league, with only the 1 win all season, Oliveirense. But we've got a bit of a dilemma here. We've got a Maritimo, who are not that hot, only beat 17th 1-0. And they have only played 1 of 8th and lower. So we've got very little to work off as far as playing the bottom half side is concerned for Maritimo. Very little to work off. The only thing we can look at is to take on bottom of the league. They must be bottom of the league for a very good reason. You add in the fact that the attacking pressure index has hit 92. 3 shots on target, 6 shots off, 6 corners, 51 dangerous attacks to 17. So I think that's 17-34 That's 17 multiplied by 3, isn't it, to make 51? So 3 times as many dangerous attacks for Maritimo as Oliverense. And I think the definition of a dangerous attack, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is when a side gets to the penalty box of their opponent. I think that's what it is, but you'll see that 92 attacking pressure index as the second half begins. If you wanted to follow in, don't forget, the lower down the leagues you go, the worse it gets as far as trusting these teams is concerned. But we're taking on bottom of the league, and hopefully, it must be said, it's very poor form for Maritimo. So this is going to be one where you might have to write off your stake if trusting a side like this. Laying over 1.5 goals as ever. I would stop off at +1 if it's decent enough. Over evens would be nice. No, 1.71. So it's going to be a very skinny return. So you may have to default to the match odds if you fancy that. You're getting quite short odds considering it's the beginning of the second half. And it just goes to show the reputation or lack thereof of bottom of the league at Liverense. Looking for £6.30 on the draw. So it's quite a big hit. If you don't want to play, you don't have to. But if you want to play +1, you're going to make a skinny return, but you'll have the draw covered. That's an important element there. But you can tell 52 to 18, that's a third as many dangerous attacks. Hopefully that pressure will count, but it's a poor set of form figures. And we've got big question mark here. But logically, if you're beating 13th, 14th and 15th without home advantage, then surely you can cope with 18th, who scored that two goals against the top 3, but without winning. Problem for me, it's not a league I know very well. It's not a league I trust too much. So you have to really hope that the in-play stats are going to help you out. Swansea and Luton, well, I didn't show you the reaction in the market for that red card. Sometimes it can be as impactful as a goal. So I didn't see, I think this could have been the reaction there. That's the red card there, I think. So it went down to about evens again. That's the impact of a red card. Now we're drifting. But this is a great thing about break even. And for those of you who locked in your profit earlier on, well done. You don't have to worry about this kind of stuff if you lock in profit. So you have to make a decision. Do I lock it in or do I look for the win? There's no wrong answer, is there? Because there was plenty of time left after the equaliser. Came in the first half. Now you've got the red card involved. Yes, it may not come off today, but logically, you'd be with that, wouldn't you? Negating your liability is not a problem. You can sit back now and just hope for the winner, knowing you're not going to make any huge risks. So that's no problem at all. Watford, are they going to get a late equaliser against Cardiff? We can have a look and see. This is a great advantage of soccer stats now. Once you get to November and onwards, we've got real embedded patterns. We've got the goal times. We've got enough matches under our belts that we can check out goal times and we can get an accurate reflection of how sides get on late on. You've seen with some teams, they change 60th minute onwards. You see that with Aston Villa. Suddenly the goals come. That's because of a substitution. But look at the second half goal scoring record for Watford. It is impeccable. Elton John would be delighted. 14 of 17 goals scored at home by Watford have come second half. Cardiff, well, it's 50-50 for their concession rate. So watch out for that. If Watford are to score, highly likely they'll be scoring in the second half. So are these odds short enough for you to take on Cardiff City? Let's have a look. Let's see if we can take on Cardiff City. Odds are short enough, aren't they? Someone's trying to back Watford at 150. That's probably Elton John. Wants a new pair of trainers or something. You've got two options here. And there's an equaliser for Victoria Guimarães. So let's just check out our positions there. Sometimes during a season, certain sides will catch your eye. Guimarães is one of them. So you've made a £12.80 loss here. You've got the option now. And look at that, Maritimo Oliveirense. It's 0-2 to Oliveirense. So I did warn you, you might want to have to write off any play if you get involved in Portuguese Liga 2. We just didn't see it from Maritimo at home, did we? But Oliveirense are bottom of the league. So that's a lesson to you. You can choose your battles in better quality leagues. So Guimarães now, you're sitting on a £1.13 loss on the draw, but it's a net £13 loss with the hope of winning 94 quid. Or you could do like we did with the Swans and make sure that you're not hit by any late mischief. Variable profit Dutching. This gives you an opportunity to focus on one of the three markets here. See how much it'll cost to negate that 40 quid. That will leave you feeling a lot better, won't it? But you'll still make a net £12 loss if you don't quite get the Guimarães win. 12-second delay here as well. Just be a little wary of that. Or please take your green, lock it in. That will cover your loss on Maritimo. That's the problem with playing the Secunda League. So I've learnt my lesson there. Maybe I should be focusing on Penafiel and Tondela rather than mid-table. Tottenham, Wolverhampton Wanderers is 2-2. Taxi for Postecoglou. And he can pay for that taxi with his Swansea winnings. Now, I would recommend you cash out here. Don't assume that the Swans, even down, Luton down to 10, will go on and win. For the sake of £4, lock it in. I've seen many an opportunity go to waste by a late equaliser. Don't forget, Venezia, 95th minute penalty equaliser a couple of days ago. Okay, take your green, run to the hills. Now that covers any loss on Maritimo. Okay, take your green, run to the hills. Tottenham and Wolves. Is there going to be any late goal action? Well, we've seen with Watford, possibilities there. Tottenham and Wolves. Any late goal action for Postecoglou et al. New manager for Wolves will be disappointed to be conceding. So we can't look too far back for Wolves, can we? Because there's no point. This is the only form you're interested in because it's new manager. But looking at Tottenham, do they have a late goal scoring? Kulusevski has been in good form of late. We do have season-long, 76th to 90th minute, 9 goals in total there. We've got 10 goals scored in the last half hour, 6 of them in the last 15 minutes for the Spuds. So if you fancied that one, you could have a quick look. If the draw odds are low enough, well, that suggests there's plenty of time left in the match. And it's catching. Should have really been with Fulham throughout today, shouldn't we? Based on in-play stats. Because they have been putting in a really good fist of it today and got that draw-itis for Fulham. But I missed out 2 opportunities to take on Fulham. But there you go. No worries. Well done to the Swans. That red card proving effective. And those of you who went match odds, those of you who negated loss, you've been very well rewarded there. So well done. Watford, I'm just not going to play, although they do have late goals. So it's up to you if you wanted to lay the late opponent of Watford. Can't see at the top of my head who it is, because I've just, they're at Cardiff. If you want to lay Cardiff late on based on Watford's very late goal scoring, I will leave that up to you. And look at Coventry, laughable odds pre-match. This is exposing Frank Lampard. I don't know where Coventry fans are thinking that results against bottom three sides is a sign of improvement. This against 13th and higher will be where Frank Lampard and his inability to be a tactical manager will shine or won't shine. Birmingham, top of the league, but they haven't really performed today, have they? This is where in-play stats come in. Yes, they look top of the league because they're scoring shed loads, but haven't turned up today. So you don't lay the draw, do you? Huddersfield, well, we're getting the insurance possibly paying out here, but we might be stung by a late equaliser. Again, you can do what I did in the Rangers match. And watch out for the Rangers match. They did concede a 93rd plus minute goal against St Mirren. There might be some late action, Rangers 2-2 at the moment. So we're in a spot of bother because we're going to be making a £21 loss if this ends a draw, which I suspect this is now. I was just about to cash out, but it looks as if we're safe. Stoke, very late winner against Sunderland. Wrexham, very late winner against Wigan Athletic. Wow. So we can make possible £20 profit here versus £27 loss here. So it's similar to Celtic. I was just going to say, if you cash out of both, you can make only a £7 loss. But if this is a Huddersfield 1-1, which indeed it is, and it was coming, wasn't it? We've now guaranteed ourselves a £21 loss if we can't get that winner for Huddersfield. Is there enough time to get a Huddersfield win? The ideal way to have played this one would have been to start laying Burton Albion in increments throughout, because Huddersfield looked like they were going to get an equaliser. But the +1 odds were just too skinny, weren't they? Just too skinny at about 1.7 or lower. So this was a good call, but wrongly executed. Now you could cash out now and you'll make an effective break even. No, you won't. You'll make a £10 loss. Or that is a good sign. It suggests there's a bit more left in this match. So if you're willing to take the hit in the hope of 117 quid, then off you go. I'll be a Terriers fan for the next few minutes. Looks like there's a bit of Fergie time there, and they did deserve this equaliser. We should have really just laid Burton Albion without all of that insurance malarkey. Bournemouth do deserve to get a win out of this Fulham match if you wanted to lay that late draw. Come from behind twice, Bournemouth, putting together a really solid run of late. Only recent loss, well, it's not a loss, it was a test fixture. So I think that's the software just trialing. 3 goals against Man U, of course. So watch out. Fulham coming off the back of that excellent London derby win against Chelsea. Up to you if you want to lay the late draw, given Bournemouth have the bit between their teeth. Let's hope the Terriers have the bit between their teeth. Hopefully we've got a little bit of extra time to go. We can eke out that 2-1 against bottom of the league, Burton Albion. 117 quid if they can do it. Birmingham, not doing much today, like, you know what I mean? Like, not very good, like you. So, got suspended market again. Is that the Terriers getting a 2-1? I hope so. Let's wait and see. Or it's the end of one of our matches. Guimaraes, you can cash out at the 1-1, or you can do what I did, negate liability and gamble on Guimaraes scoring a second goal against a Firenze who don't tend to score that second goal. Maritimo Oliverense, well, I did warn you already, didn't I, to write off any loss, any money you risked because of the league and we've been exposed, haven't we? It's pretty poor stuff. A lot of Guernsey people or people who work in Guernsey do come from Funchal in Portugal. My friend I went to school with, the name of his house was Funchal. His father was Portuguese immigrant into the Channel Islands. So a lot of hotel staff from there. Madeira. Great stuff for the Swans. How about our odds-ons? Tottenham and Wolves, if you want to lay that late draw, you've got some late goals in that match, haven't you? Ordinarily. Come on, the Terriers. You could take that if you wanted to. That will take £5 off the 21 loss. Take the 21 loss if you want, in the hope of 117 quid profits. It's a 5-1 punt. 1-2, Maritimo. I was thinking of taking on bottom of the league of Oliverense 0-2 up, but once I'm already involved, I don't tend to again. But we've got a lifeline, particularly if we went +1. Now, I might show you that. So 1.22. If you really wanted to limit your liability, get involved here. 1.09 to win £23. 1.06 to win £32. This is a £3.90 liability for the potential to win 54 quid. Red card, Burton Albion late on. Come on, the Huddersfield. Come on, the Terriers. This could end the session rather nicely for those of you who attended and really boost that mince pie war fund. So let's see if Huddersfield can make that extra player count, albeit with the clock not theirs and our friends. Red card late on. Illiquid market, as you can see there, not really tightened up just yet, but this is exciting now. Got the potential for that £15 if you want to get out to negate that. Or, yeah, maybe the goal disallowed, was it? No, we're on the draw. Laying over 1.5 goals. Yes, because I went for the Huddersfield win, didn't I? Okay. But it doesn't make any sense though. Why is this still alive? So is this 0-1? Have they made a Rick again? I'll say goodbye to you in a sec. It's been an interesting afternoon. We've left a lot of profit on the table, particularly in the Premier League. Where's the Huddersfield match? Should be on our list. So it's 1-1. So laying over 1.5 goals should have produced a loss. Why is it still alive? We're just waiting for that win. And it's been suspended. Is there a penalty? Is there some late action? What you want to see is a nice red dot there for Huddersfield. Van Kooten, red carded. Is it the end of the match? 3 minutes to go. Suspended market. Did the market makers forget to unsuspend the 1.5 goal market? I wonder. So waiting with interest for this, and then I'll say good night to you. I probably won't be doing any evening session. Just got to look after my parents this evening. Make sure they're both okay. Lots of 2-2s today. Oh, Desmond is out and about, isn't he? I've done the Tottenham one late on. Those of you who took the 6s about Rangers, you still got that profit if you laid Motherwell at odds on as well. Something is astray with Rangers at the moment. not much really of interest this evening. So this is the main 3 to 5 o'clock. So you probably won't hear from me afterwards. But thanks very much for coming along. Just waiting for the Terriers to do something. And then I'll call it a day. Don't forget Guimaraes as well. 96 attacking pressure index. They're warming up nicely if you're looking for a Guimaraes win. And Maritimo as well got that goal back. So let's just check that one out before I go. So that's okay from 0-2 down. But if you go +1, you can actually get out with a marginal loss at the 1-2 if you've gone 0-2. But we remain hopeful that Maritimo could score that second. They're not that hot though. So if you wanted to take that, and it's a good example today, isn't it? Sometimes you have to take red. But 20 minutes to go against bottom of the league. There is a real hope that we can see something from Maritimo before the end of the match, and from Guimaraes as well, and from Huddersfield, if the market can unsuspend. And indeed from Tottenham and Wolves. There's 3 points at work here. Can Wolves make it 3 consecutive wins? Can Wolves effectively say taxi for Postecoglou? This is a derby-style match for me, Juventus-Fiorentina. It's too tricky to unpack. Fiorentina have been winning for fun. It's what I term a derby-style match. Like you've seen geographical derbies like Fulham and Chelsea. You saw that Fulham win. Form lines can often be thrown out the window. But 3 wins in 4 for the old lady. And Fiorentina going through an uncharacteristically poor run. But their loss to Bologna, the market did warn us about that Bologna loss. Guimaraes, well, we've just seen Guimaraes, pretty good goal scorers, aren't they, in the Conference League? And a loss to Udinese was a bit of a shock result. Fiorentina did take the lead, so I wouldn't have lost anything as a trader there, because I would have been on the side of the Viola. So it's a tough one to call, this one. Just waiting for the Huddersfield match to end, and then I'll say good night to you. Up and coming football. Well, let's have a look. I don't think you'll be hearing much from me till New Year's Day. Tomorrow's a decent evening coupon. The eve before New Year's Eve. Aston Villa and Brighton. Odds on Aston Villa. And Huddersfield Burton ends 1-1. Ipswich and Chelsea. Ipswich are keeping teams tight, but they're likely to be undone by a Chelsea side who can field a completely new 11 and not be impacted. Manchester United. Well, I don't play Manchester United matches, I'm afraid. What a shambles of a club. Pericomo against Lecce and Bologna against Verona. Got that recent win against Fiorentina, which is a good sign. So I'll say good night to you. Thanks a lot for coming along. Have a great rest of your day. Hi, Enoch. And bye, Enoch. We're just saying goodbye now. Thanks very much, everyone. If you liked your live chat, please, if there is a comment section here, please leave a comment and a thumbs up, please. If you like the fact I've come back from a lunch date, I didn't have to come back, and I've tried to make you some cash. Please leave a like and do subscribe, because the next time I hop on, you'll know immediately. Thanks very much, everybody. Just going to figure out how to close this down now. And have a great rest of your evening. And I might see you for tomorrow's 3 Premier League matches.